and today we're going to talk a little bit about scams. I'm Captain Kearse again, for those of you who were not here yesterday, and I brought with me Lieutenant Francis.
How you doing?
Lieutenant Francis heads our detective division and our drug unit, and obviously head of the detective division. They investigate majority of the scams that we get that come into town. We have every type of scam you can think of. It's been tried in Windsor, and there's an awful lot out there. And one of the things we were just talking about on our way over, someone yesterday mentioned the online banking, and I said I wasn't a big fan of it. I said that I had been a victim of someone going into my account and taking some money, and my wife, who does, I don't do any online banking, but we have a shared account, so it don't matter. I might as well have been doing online banking. So she was doing some online banking, and apparently someone got her password and things, and they went into our account and they sent some money in 3 different sums. It was like $200, $499, which I remember, and then $300 and some odd dollars to Mexico, a bank in Mexico City. And they sent this money there, but when you go on the phone, I always check my account on the phone. You should check your account at least weekly. You should check your account at very least every week. And I do it by phone, and I was checking, and I noticed there were these three transfers, but it didn't say to where. You check it for it, just said transfer. And we have a son in college, and my initial thought was, wow, did Lorraine send Mark some money? So I called her to say, hey, what you send Mark this? Why would you just send him one lump sum? Why did you send these 3? And she said, I didn't send Mark any money. I said, well, somebody transferred money somewhere. I asked her if she could call the bank and find out. So she called the bank and got online with them. They told her, well, that money was transferred to a bank in Mexico City. And while she was on the phone talking to the bank, the woman had our account up, the employee from Bank of America, who I think did a tremendous job. She could see where the person was trying now to get additional money. Totally, now the first they took was over $1,000. They were now going back trying to get over $2,000 while my wife was on the phone talking. So they were able to stop that. And fortunately, because we did file and it was fraud, we got all our money back. So we didn't suffer a loss, but it could create a problem that just suddenly have $1,000 going from your bank. We were fortunate that we didn't have any problems with bounce checks or anything like that, but it could create a host of problems. Let's say if we didn't find out for 2 weeks, we would have lost $3,000, or whoever, they would have went in and got all the money, I suspect. But it's something when you bank online, and the problem with that is there are a lot of people out there, I couldn't do it, but who are computer savvy enough to go in and they can trace your keystrokes to get your password. There are things they can do to get all your information, and they did it. They had the correct password. The bank was telling my wife they used the correct password, they used everything. And my wife is the only one who does the online, so she's, like, I didn't know the password, my son doesn't know it. She's the only one who knew the password, so they did it by, and apparently she had done some banking downtown using a laptop, and we suspect, just because that's probably where it happened, because usually in larger metropolitan areas, that's where you have people, they'll sit out and do various things to try to steal your information. So that's just a word of caution where, like I said, they victimized me, so anyone can be a victim of a scam. The other type of scams that we see a lot, they'll tell you that you won some money, or they would like for you to be an online shopper. And that's like a big thing. Any of you use the internet? You guys use the internet? Anyone? You use it?
But not for shopping.
They'll actually they'll say, we want you to be an online shopper for us. And someone will say, yeah. So they'll send you a check for $5,000. Check, it'll look real. And they'll say, here's a check for $5,000. You keep $2,500 and you had to send a $2,500, you know, put this in your bank account, and you had to send a $2,500 to Mark Francis. He's another online shopper who lives in Canada. So you put that money in, and then you write a check out to him, and you send him, but no, they'll say, send us a bank check. So you get a bank check, and you send a bank check to Mark, and you figure, wow, I got my $2,500, now they're gonna send you the information so you can start online shopping. That information never comes. Week goes by, and then you realize that $5,000 check bounces. So you've lost, you sent him $2,500, you try to contact the number is no longer in service. That address was just a post office box, and you've lost that money. That money is gone. That happens all the time. Happens to people all the time. There's an old saying, nothing from nothing leaves nothing.
Too good to be
Remember
true.
that song?
Not true.
Too good to be true is not true.
Yeah, let me just touch on one about the time of year, because actually it's getting nice out. We have spring, and a lot of times you'll have cleanup crews, which will do spring cleanups, and as well as paving of driveways, and a lot of odd jobs and stuff like that. You have to be very careful with a lot of these outfits that come out. First thing you want to make sure is that they are licensed. If they're licensed and bonded, then they're okay. But the thing about it is, most people that come to you with a great deal. I'll pave your driveway for, you know,
$4.58.
what, you know, $800. Well, getting your most driveways paved, it's going to be a lot more than $800. So what they're going to do is they're going to probably have some gravel mixed with oil, and it'll hold up okay for probably a day or two. But when they put it down, they'll get in there, they'll get the money from you. You know, they need the money to start the job, and they'll get the job all started, or they'll even do the job for you and get it all done. And as soon as it's done, they got your money, they're gone. Now here's the problem. The first rain come, gravel starts getting loose, now it's all coming up. Because I always say, when you want to get any job done, go to a reputable business. Someone that you know is recommended by the Better Business Bureau, somebody that's been around for a long time, and you know, somebody that you feel comfortable with, that they have a standing place that you can go back to. Someone coming out to you with a truck and saying, hey, we got some extra gravel, we'd like to do your yard. Like they say, if it sounds too good to be true, it's not true. Another thing is, with people who come door to door asking to come in your home, representation of the gas company, the MDC, or all of these other different entities that we know, they are reputable. But they come to your house and they want to come in, they want to check your meter, they want to check your pipes. Well, most water meters are read through your phones. How many people in here still have phones in their house? Everybody has land phones or hardline phones. I like to call them hardline phones. Good, because most of your meters, your water meters, are read by that phone. Actually, I got a bone to pick with MDC because I don't have a landline phone in my house, and they've been estimating my bill, and I've been paying a whole lot of money lately, and I'm like, well, so I got to call them and get that all rectified today. Well, yeah, I know. But back to the story at hand. People that come to your house, they're on the other side of the door, for the most part, when they ring your door. First thing first, you didn't get any correspondence that they were coming. You don't know that they're coming. Don't let them in. Don't unlock your door. Don't be afraid to ask them all the questions that you want to know. First of all, let me see your badge. Who are you representing? Give me a phone number there so I can call. And most importantly, you don't mind if I call the local police to ask about you and have them come by here while you're here, because you know I just feel very strange about this, because nobody never comes to my door like that. Because first of all, in the town of Windsor, you can't solicit door to door anyway. Now, can you do inspections?
The only way you can do it is you have to get a permit.
You have to have a permit,
and they require you to wear that permit.
And if they are soliciting and they want a permit, and they don't have a permit, you don't need any. Because for the most cases, when you want something, that's why they have Sears, JCPenney, stores, so you can go to them. And you know when you come back tomorrow, they're going to be there. But somebody coming door to door, only thing about him coming to your door today or her coming to your door today, they might not come back tomorrow. And you know what? You don't know them from a, well, as my mother used to say, well, she still says, I don't know you from a can of paint. So why would I let you in my house? Or why would I trust you?
Lieutenant Francis, I want to point out a very important point as it relates to phones and phone numbers. Right. Cards, business cards, you can get business cards dime a dozen.
Yep.
There's no one asking, you know, a lot of companies will print up business cards. You can print them up on the internet, but you can go to a print shop. They're not asking for any ID. If I went there to most print companies and said, hey, I want to print up some police captain ID business cards, they're not going to say, well, let me see proof that you're a police captain. They're just going to print up, this is what you want on it, they're going to print it up. I'm going to pay for it, I'm going to walk out of there. And whatever phone number I tell them to put on there, that's the number that's on there. Likewise, if I print up a fake CLMP or whatever service company card, and that number's on there, you call that number, and on the other end is my girlfriend, CLMP, you don't know who you're getting. And what you have to do is say, okay, let me go look in the phone book, look the number up yourself, and call the number that you get out of the phone book. Because that way you for sure are calling the business that they claim to represent. If they actually represent that business, then they're fine. But if they don't, they'll disappear. And as Lieutenant Francis said, who were here yesterday heard, always call the police. Oh, the police can help you with that. Because if they're reputable and they don't have a problem, they're not going anywhere. But if they start disappearing, you know, then you know that there was something up. There was a problem. And one of the things you have to be aware of, that people are always, they're looking for ways to separate you from your money. And this season here, as I mentioned yesterday, and I can't say it enough, I'll say it again and again, this is prime season for scams. Like early spring, we get so many calls. They'll wait for you outside the bank. There was a person yesterday, Mark, who talked about the fact that someone called pretending to be his grandson. And he almost, in fact, he fell for it. When he went to the bank manager told him, hey, this doesn't seem right. I don't think you should send this. And it ended up being, sure enough, it wasn't his grandson. You know, it was a scam artist trying to get him to send money. Said he was in a jail in Mexico City. And those are the things to be on the lookout for. And I hate to say this, and I don't want to denigrate any country, but you get stuff from Mexico, from Nigeria, from Canada.
Look out.
Look out.
Look out.
Those three areas are prime areas for scams. Right. They send more stuff. And I'm saying that based on experience, where we get a significant amount of scams coming from those three locales. Then Europe is right up in there too.
Exactly. You'll get England. You'll get a lot of stuff come out of England. Say you might have won Irish sweepstakes or something like that. Well, if you didn't play the Irish sweepstakes, they probably shouldn't be sending. You probably didn't win if you didn't play. I mean, if you find somebody that ever collected on a lottery or some type of prize that they didn't enter in, you show me that person, because you know I'll get a lot of times on my cell phone. They'll tell me I've won something. I'm like, but I didn't play. So I'm like, I don't know how I can win. And then they'll say, well, if you send $500 to cover the processing fees, and we'll send you out the $8 million or whatever. My next thing back, send me my $8 million and you can take it out of the $8 million, so send it to me.
Yeah, that's what my husband did one
Send me the $7,900,000.
He says, take it out of my winnings.
Take it out of my winnings. Yeah, exactly. That's all I say. I always take. I'd rather play with your money than my money. He's like, send me mine, and then you can take that out of there. I'm still winning.
And a lot of people fall for that.
Yes.
You'd be amazed how many cases that are out there.
Elderly.
Exactly. Yeah. Because you want to think, you know, they'll tell you won.
Well, now that you say elderly, since my mom is a senior. My mom is 83 years old, and you know I just recently lost my dad, and a lot of times she'll get phone solicitors. You know, I don't know why. Maybe because I don't have a home phone, so I don't get them. But she still has, and we have the same number that we have had since probably 1965. You know, And that's when I can remember us having a phone. We have the same number, so I know that number is probably well distributed all through the whole network of anybody's solicitor and anybody bad too as well, because that number has never changed. She'll get calls where people will engage her in conversations. And my mother, because she, my father's not around anymore, she doesn't have someone to talk to all the time. She gets on the phone and she's willing to talk. I guess because of the era when she was born, people are more trusting. Now, when we were born, he and I were born in the 60s, we don't trust nothing. Everything's a conspiracy. It was conspiracy on everything from who made Wonder Bread to whatever we got now. Everything is a conspiracy, so we don't trust anything. Back in the 1930s, like 1920s, 1930s, everybody was believing and trusting. Everything was what it was. If you said this table was a solid object, it's a solid object. You said water is wet, water was wet. Air is dry, air is dry. Not for us, but that's the way it was for you. My mom will talk with people and they'll ask her all kinds of questions. And I'm hearing her saying something, oh, you want my social security number? And I gotta stop it. No! Don't give them your social security number. That's a number, if I get your social security number, I can do just about anything. I can become you. Even though I'm a man and weigh 200 pounds, I can be you, because I got your social security number now. And yes.
Somebody called at the house, right? And say you won the trip, the cruise, for 2 weeks. I just heard. You know what I did? I don't believe them.
Right.
Because I hang the phone at their face.
How did you win?
How did you win that?
Yeah, and that's what my mother.
That's what I'm saying.
And my mother.
How do we know the phone number? Oh, they probably look at it.
They get. First thing she says to me, that's rude. I can't do that. I can't just hang up on people.
Yeah, you can.
I said, Mom, did you call them? She said, no. Do you know them? No. But you just can't hang up on people. They're asking you questions. They're from a company.
I know.
I'm like, what company are you from? I said, don't you see that number come up? Call it back. I said, why don't you tell them in the middle of your conversation, hey, you don't mind if I call you back? They'll tell you no. You know why?
Last time I received a phone call, oh, you went a Hawaiian vacation and cruise and this and that. I said, you got license? I mean, he said, do you got license? I say, I don't drive.
They want.
I don't drive.
One of the things they want to steal your identity. I need as much information from you as possible. So if I call you, I'll say, I'm calling from your bank. And we've had some unusual activity on your account. And you'll say, oh, and they'll say, well, let me have your account number. And they're calling you about your account. What are they asking you for your account number for?
Right.
You should know my account number, but people will say, okay, and they give you account number. Okay, I just need your PIN number. I need to verify that this is you. Now they calling you, and now they want to verify that it's you that they just called. Yeah. So then you give them their your PIN number.
Aren't they supposed to
then you notice.
write you a letter?
They usually write a letter.
Exactly.
But
and
you know what?
People respond to that. They do it on the internet. It happens a lot.
Personally, I would not trust a letter because I'm somewhat old school myself. I'm like my dad. My dad never got into the electric banking. He never got into that. He said when he got a Social Security check and his retirement check, he's like, I want to go to the bank and cash it. I want the money in my hand because that I can trust. Well, me, if I got a letter, I would probably do by going into my bank and just say, hey, I got this letter. You want to explain this to me? Because I'm dealing with a person now, and I know I'm in my bank. Because the bank might have you mail something back or whatever, and you don't know what you get. You can't be real trusting of it. The other thing is too, how many times do you get bank statements or credit card statements and you just throw them in the trash? Why?
Don't do it.
I know. I see
Your
you.
information on there is yours.
You know what? We have guys who go out and create identities. They said you just wouldn't believe. We arrested them for catching them. They said you wouldn't believe what you find in the trash. And, you get people whole bank statements, credit card number. Because when your credit card statement comes up, your whole number is on there. Yeah. And you know what some people will do? They'll hand rip it up and put it back in the envelope and throw it in the trash. They take it out. And it's all in one nice little pile form. They take it out, put it right back together, and now they go like this. I got me a credit card number.
It's worth the
shredder.
money.
You got a fireplace. dumping an old
No, no, no,
fireplace
it's
or
worth-
whatever way you want to know, but you know that no one else is going to get it.
I've got a basket full of shredding.
Yep.
So do I.
Exactly. And it's good for starting a fire with. You want to put it in your
It's
fireplace,
worth-
knock the chill off the house.
I have torn it up and then put the coffee grounds on top.
Right. Yeah, destroy it. Make it put it in such a bad way that nobody can reconstruct it. Because that's what, people, they go out and
And
they
they
call it.
depend on the fact
Yeah,
that
we call
people
it.
are lazy.
Right.
But you're just gonna throw it away.
Right.
And
Because-
they're gonna find a bunch of them in
Now,
time.
you all are shocked, but I bet if any street you live on, if I went out now as a police officer and collected 10 people's trash on your street, I bet you out of those 10 people, I bet you 7, I'll give a low number. I bet you at least 4 people will leave check statements, bank statements, credit card statements, all intact. I know they will. I know because we have pulled trash at people's houses and we have found it. For other reasons though. It's for those drugs. We're looking for drugs. Never know what you'll find in somebody's trash.
But you have to be very diligent about protecting your identity and protecting yourself, and that's inside and outside your home. People are looking for ways to, as I say it, and I'll keep saying it, separate you from your money. And if an easy way is, as Lieutenant Francis said, just go right in your trash. You put it out there for them. It's like you're giving it would be like you taking your social security number or bank information and just giving it. And that's what you're doing when you're just throwing it in a hole in the trash can that way. You're providing it for anyone who wants to take it. And the thing is, and this is what once you put that trash out on the street, if they want to come and go through your trash, legally they can do that. Now they can't legally take your information. They can say, oh, I'm just looking for anything good. I'm looking for cans, I'm looking for bottles, or I'm looking for some old clothes. And we wouldn't even arrest them.
If we see them with your identity, your check statement or your credit card statement, oh yeah, we're gonna have words with them then because they're not supposed to have that. So don't make it easy. Make it so they won't be available to them. And that's the most important thing. And I'm trying to think, we covered just about everything on scams.
Well,
I'm sure some new ones. I'm sure you all probably could tell us about some. Have you experienced anything?
When my phone rings, I just look to see what number it
What
is.
number
If I
comes
don't
up.
recognize the number, I don't even bother to answer.
Excellent.
Knows me, they
Yep.
will say, Lois, are you home? If
Right.
not, call me,
Good. Screening your car.
Our 2 young ladies went to a woman's house. They said they went to college with her granddaughter, and they were friends, and they was just stopping by. She said, hey, we have in the area, stop by and say hello, introduce ourselves. And they stopped by, and they, so and so, and they introduced themselves, so she invited them in, and one of them snuck in and stole some stuff, and they got away. So she figured, when she realized stuff was stolen, she called us, figured, they knew my grandson, they knew his name, knew everything, so I'm sure he never heard of him when she called him. But how they get this information is, if someone asks this question, well, how do they find out that I have a grandson? Well, it used to be a lot of times there's a lot of guesswork. But now with Facebook, you don't have to guess that much. You can go on Facebook, and most people do not have their account set up where, like, I can go and look at their account. Because we have a fake Facebook account. He won't tell it's me, it's like a handsome guy on there. So he can get on and people will be friendly with him. But people will put all this information on their Facebook account. I'm going here, I'm doing this is my grandmother, this is my grandfather, she lives in Windsor, blah, 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 blah. We had a great time at the cookout over our house or whatever. They put everything, all of this personal information out there, and now if I'm online, I'm gonna say, oh look, he has a grandmother, this is Joe Smith, who has a grandmother, he goes to UMass, he's majoring in political science or whatever, he's in his second year and so on and so forth. I know a whole bunch about him. So I can come and sit down and talk to you about him. Oh, and his dog Fluffy. I know all of it, and you're going to believe that I know him. And I just want to find a way to get into your house. So you have to be very careful. There's just so many scams out there. A lot of the ones where they will, again, the check, they'll send you a check, because we're seeing that quite a bit actually. Send you a check, tell you to send them, and the check is a real check. It's just not any money to back the check up. You know, there's no account with any money in it for the check, but the check itself is very real. It looks, you know, authentic. Company sounds legit, and you put that check in the bank, and you say, "Wow, yeah, they just gave me a check for $7,500." So of course I could send them, you know, $2,000.
Sometimes.
I guess we can open it up for questions. If anybody got any questions about anything that you should do or can do to insulate yourself further from these type of scams. If it sounds too good to be true, it's not. I mean, this is America, but we don't pick money up off the ground. It doesn't grow on trees, and like a lot of people like to believe, you know, people come here from other countries and, oh yeah, America, they throw money around, they pick it up. No. If you don't work for it, you're not going to get it. And no one's giving it away.
That's right.
No one's giving it away. So that's probably the best way to protect yourself.
A friend in town, some people came and said they had leftover stuff for your driveway.
That's what we talked about that earlier.
Well, it was just done in Windsor. And
Yeah.
so they did this driveway, and my husband kept telling me, you don't want this fella. Well, they did.
Right.
And then when it came time to roll it, they had two men with gourds nailed to their shoes doing the whole driveway. The police picked him up here, and he got through it to the citizen.
Like I said, the Better Business Bureau, we have so many different things nowadays for you to make sure you get the best of the best. We have networks that you can call, you know, they can help you get someone that's reputable and actually penny wise for you to do it. And I always say what penny wise is, they don't have to do it over again. They're reputable. So if I have to pay a little bit more on one hand because I know that they're a long-standing business and they have done good business, I take them. Somebody that's a fly-by-night that's just walking through, well, you know, like I said, you can go get your car painted at a good place, or you can go to, remember Earl Scheid 99.95? You go to Earl Scheid. I mean, he'll paint your car.
Well, this car,
but it just may not be like how you want it painted.
Well, what we see is what we call them gypsies. Yeah. And this year, they literally travel from coast.
And the springtime is a high time.
They start up north, and they make their way all the way down.
All the way down.
And they stop, and they find as many victims as possible. And they look for you to be outside in your yard working.
Correct.
And they say, hey, we're just working around the corner.
Yeah.
We have this extra stuff. That was the first scam that we started out with. And the reason we start out with it every year people fall prey to it.
Be sure your door is locked.
Bring a phone with you. You may see something. You may need to call someone, so make sure you have your phone with you. And you're right. If you're working in the backyard, take your keys.
Front door needs to be locked.
Front door needs to be locked. And if you're not watching the back door and you're really into doing whatever you're doing in the yard, lock your back door as well, because that's how you're going to keep yourself safe. And you know, people will come and try to talk to you in the backyard in effort to try to go through the front door. So I always say, you know, keep yourself conscious that, you know, that may happen. Because sometimes a lot of these people who are doing scams, they're not working by themselves, they're working in unison with someone else. Yep.
And distraction scams are big.
Right.
Not only in your yard with someone coming, I want to talk to you while my friend is sneaking into the back of your home.
Right.
But in grocery stores, very popular. Again, yesterday we spoke about making sure you don't have these large purse sitting open or unattended in your carriage where you're shopping. I'm shopping over here with my carriage, but I leave my carriage with my purse sitting there. I'm sure you've seen it. Go to the grocery store right now, you'll see 20, 30 of them. And I'm over here looking for items, and my purse is back there. Somebody can take my wallet from my purse and I don't even know it. But the other thing that happens is I intentionally come and distract you. Say, excuse me, you ever try this peanut butter? Is this any good? You know, and I'm talking to you while my friend is behind you taking your wallet out of your purse. Those type of things happen again all the time. you have to be aware.
Sure.
Listen, if you do have questions, please do not hesitate to call the police. We can't say this enough. We'd rather take 1,000 calls where there's nothing than for you to have that one and something happens. And if something does happen, call. Oftentimes, people who are victims of the scams, they feel stupid or as if they've done something wrong, and they're embarrassed and they don't call. If you are ever a victim of a scam, or a friend of yours, is encourage them to call, because that way gives us the best chance to catch the scam artist and put it to a halt. But if I get scammed and I don't tell, and he gets scammed and he doesn't tell, now you and you, the person can make their way around this whole table because none of us is telling anyone. But if I tell right off the bat, now a warning can put out, because we will put notices out. We'll put them out in the reminder. We'll put them in the current paper, wherever. Hey, listen, be on the lookout for scam artists. This is what they're doing. We'll put it on Win TV, GTV, wherever, to alert people to be watching out for this sort of thing. Because now the likelihood of them continuing is lessened, and also the likelihood of us catching them is increased. So oftentimes they'll stay in an area as long as that area is bearing fruit. But if they get, thwarted right off the bat, they go to 2 homes and both people say, get out of my yard, I'm calling the police. Well, they know, wait a minute, this is an aware neighborhood. I need to go somewhere else. And that's what you want to do.
I have my phone, which I have a tendency to leave it at home, but I had my phone that day, and my daughter called, and she said the police had called, the alarm had gone off, and they had gone around, didn't find anything, so I said, okay, so we just left right away and came home, and I said, I think maybe we should stop at the police station and see. So we, boy, it's hard to get in there.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe, before you used to be able to walk into the,
Yeah.
not anymore. Anyway, we finally got in, and I explained who I was, and he said, oh, yeah. He said, well, we looked around, we didn't see anything, it was fine. He said, my girlfriend was with me. She says, well, my car was in the driveway. He says, yeah, we towed it away. What? He was just kidding.
Yeah.
What a shock.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, no, all ladies today.
Ladies and gentlemen out on the outskirts.
Over here on the outskirts, okay. I think next month I'll be back and we'll be talking about a different topic. And in the meantime, in between time, please stay safe. Guard your identity. Keep your purse as small as possible. All your stuff inside, sealed. Keep your doors and windows locked. If you're away, tell a family member, friend. Use motion lights outside. Use timers on your lights inside.